हे एवरीवन, वेलकम बैक टू अवर चैनल। स्टार्ट करते हैं डिक्टेशन। 80 वर्ड पर मिनट डिक्टेशन रहेगा। फ्लक्चुएट डिक्टेशन 85 तक जाएगा। आई होप सभी स्टूडेंट्स अपने नोटबुक एंड पेन पेंसिल जिससे भी राइट करते हों लेकर रेडी रहें। डिक्टेशन स्टार्ट इन 5 सेकेंड। स्टार्ट। Without being modest, I may narrate to the house one experiment that we had tried in the railways to check and monitor the performance of the railways. In 1977, I tried to introduce a new idea of not only projecting the budget for the entire year, not only the revenue and expenditure for the entire financial year, but I had split up the budget in advance into 12 mini budgets, revenue and expenditure for each month, and targets were fixed. Every month we went to the 9 zones, tried to sit with all the concerned officers, and tried to find out whether the targets for expenditure and revenue in particular were fulfilled, because all the months are not identical months. For instance, when crops are cut, the food movement will be better. When sugar is manufactured, the movement of sugar will be better. Therefore, all months not being prosperous or lean months, we had broken up the entire budget into 12 parts. Every month we tried to monitor. Fortunately, my experience was that in the first budget of the railways, I had projected a surplus of the order of rupees 80 crores. And at the end of the year, I was able to get a surplus of rupees 126 crores as a result of monthly monitoring that had taken place. Now we are trying to introduce a quarterly monitoring of our governmental expenditure experience, as also of the revenue mopping up, so that we will be able to maintain the deficit at a lower level, and we are sure no will be able to do the job. Then there is black money of the order of rupees 40,000 crores that has also an inflationary impact on the entire price structure. The depletion of foreign exchange reserves also makes the import of the essential commodities in times of scarcity very difficult. These are problems that have created difficulties. We have taken note of the fact that excess liquidity has to be checked. I was happy that Sri Vasant Sathi specifically referred to this point. He was right in saying that the money supply had increased in the previous year, and as a result of that, when the money supply will increase and there is an excess liquidity. All steps will be required to check the excess liquidity and have already seen that the statutory liquidity ratio, which actually represents the ratio of the total bank investment in government securities divided by the deposits in the banks, has increased. I am sure that this increase in the statutory liquidity ratio will help us to some extent in the long run for checking the excess liquidity, and also the constants and inflationary pressures on our economy will be decreased to some extent. I am referring to a problem which was mentioned by a number of members. The consumer price index gives you a correct indicator of the behavior of prices. Why is it that all the official documents refer to wholesale price index? I am not referring only to this government but all the governments in the past also. Why is it that they had been quoting the wholesale price index more? There is only a technical and administrative difficulty as far as wholesale price indices are concerned. A week-wise tabulation is available. But, sir, the consumer price index for urban, rural, and all sections is not available week-wise. The consumer price index is monthly and not weekly. The wholesale price index is available on a weekly basis, and the bigger time lag in consumer price index is there. As a result of that, although one does not desire to make reference to the wholesale price index for regular and periodical behavior of the prices, we have to take recourse only to quoting the wholesale price index. But I concede the point of the critics that it is not the wholesale price index that correctly gives a picture of rising prices. It is the consumer price index that does it. Therefore, if you check in the consumer price index, you will find that the position is worse than what was indicated by the wholesale price index. But I am not quoting the wholesale price index only to drive below the carpet. The real price situation is only because of non-availability of details at many places that I was forced to quote the wholesale price index. Now, I would like to refer to certain sensitive commodities. First, let us take up sugar. Everyone in this house knows that the price behavior of a commodity is directly linked up with a number of factors, starting with the production pattern of that commodity. Secondly, we have to see whether there is hoarding of that commodity. Hardly, how does the distribution take place? And if there is a dual price, what are the quotes distributed to the levy section and non-levy section. Now we addressed ourselves to the problem of augmenting the sugar production. Stop. तो ये रही डिक्टेशन 80 वर्ड पर मिनट टू 84, 85 वर्ड पर मिनट फ्लक्चुएट डिक्टेशन, जैसा कि एग्ज़ाम हॉल में बोला जाता है. ठीक है, इट्स अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फ्लक्चुएट डिक्टेशन, क्योंकि एक ही स्पीड में डिक्टेशन कभी भी एग्ज़ाम हॉल में नहीं बोला जाता है. तो ध्यान दें स्टूडेंट्स, एंड कम से कम 5 टाइम्स इसी सेशन को चला कर प्रैक्टिस करें. एंड स्ट्रोक्स आपके सामने बने हुए हैं, जो ना बना पाएँ उसको प्रैक्टिस करें. एंड कमेंट बॉक्स में अपनी प्रेजेंटी ज़रूर लगाएं कि येस मैम, दिस सेशन इज़ वेरी हेल्पफुल टू मी. थैंक्स, टेक केयर.